What is up, y'all? RJ here with CV Tech, and today I'm going to be discussing the pros and cons of iOS. Now, after having the iPhone 5s for a few days now and using it as a daily driver on my account, this is going to be about iOS, but it's also going to be about the iPhone and the pros, neutrals, and the cons that I have found with the iPhone since I have used it for just a little bit of time. So I'm going to give you some of the pros here that I have found. And the very first pro that I see is the camera and video quality. It's stellar. The front camera is awesome. The rear camera is also awesome. However, having very few options in the camera settings when you go into the settings and go to the photo and video and all that stuff or whatever. There's very few settings you can change the camera quality to 720 to 1080. I was a little misinformed when it came to online specs that said recorded in 1080 at 60 frames per second when it's 30 frames for 720 and 1080. But it's not really a big deal for me. Not a deal breaker. It does have slow motion, which is really nice. Also time lapse, I love time lapse on the phone. And it has a number of filters and stuff like that. And the camera is just very good front, very good rear with very good audio quality. So number one would be the camera on the iPhone 5s. Now looking at number two here is the quality of the phone in general. Yes, the phone is fragile, and this is not a phone that I would want to go without a case. This right here is just a temporary case until I get a really nice outer box to completely cover the phone and protect it so it won't crack, because I know one drop it will crack. But as far as the build quality, especially with the case on it, it feels very solid. And I really like the iPhone 5s. It's just a really nice device. And so stay tuned for the whole video, because something on the bottom here that I want to make mention as well. So yeah, stay tuned for the whole thing. So the quality is good. I like the quality of the iPhone 5s. Battery life is really good. I will post some pictures of the first battery life charge on Google Plus. If you want to follow me over there, I'll have a link down below in the description bar. Always check out the description bar for yeah, it's kind of had a brain freeze there. For all of my social media links, so you can go over there and follow me on those other ones like Instagram, Snapchat. Which honestly, if you want to reach me a lot of times, Snapchat is the way to go. If you have Snapchat, just let me know who you are and all that stuff. Instagram, Google Plus, stuff of that nature. So yeah, battery life. I will be posting pictures on Google Plus here on the first battery charge, and I'm quite impressed with the battery life for such a small battery. Number three, or number four, is kind of a iffy with me, but it's a fingerprint scanner. I've never had one before. It's not really important to me, but it is kind of a cool feature to have, to be able to just hold down on it and unlock the phone, and you're good to go. So I like the fingerprint scanner. However, I could do without it. It's not really that important to me. Another one is the speakerphone and call quality. Call quality is superior on the iPhone 5s in my opinion. Of course, whenever you're out and about, if you're talking to another Sprint, Virgin, Boost Mobile customer, you get HD voice calling, which makes it extremely clear. Speakerphone quality on the bottom here, which is another pro, is the speaker on the bottom instead of the rear. And with this case on it right here, it kind of, if you can see it right there, it kind of has a little bit of a wraparound, and it kind of amplifies the sound a little bit for more bassy tones, which really gives it a good sound. So I like that about this phone. Another thing is the apps are more optimized for iOS than on Android. I have noticed a lot less lag when going to apps like Facebook, going to Instagram. Surprisingly, even YouTube works a little bit better in my opinion. Sometimes, of course, with a 4-inch display, a lot of times my, media watching stuff goes to my Stylo 2 or the Warp Elite or the J3 because of the bigger screen size. But this right here is basically my daily driver because it's so simple to use and it's small and very pocketable, and I do like that about it. So the apps are more optimized than I have been able to tell. Now, another thing is like kind of the same thing. It is that it is it has no lag. I've seen no lag with the phone. It opens up apps very quick, web pages very quick, and it has no issues that I have seen so far with anything slowing down. It can be loaded with stuff open in the background, and it's still just as fast. Even with only 1 GB of RAM, and only 16 gigabytes of onboard storage, it does seem to do a very good job with the A7 chip. 3-year-old phone, but still very relevant for 2016 in my opinion. The last thing I want to see on pros, there's probably more, but right now it's early in the morning and I'm really not got everything together, is the fact that it's very simplistic. Like I may mention, whenever I am out and about and I'm driving down the road, I always wear a Bluetooth because I drive a stick shift. So when you're driving down the road and you're trying to change gears and steer and you get a phone call, it's kind of hard to do 3 things at one time. So when I'm on the phone, earpiece is the best way to go. Your phone in the seat beside you, you gotta look at it. Just hit a button, talk on the phone, be done with it. Being a small phone, is really easy just to pull it out, take a picture here and there, a few snaps, instead of a big phablet, which I love phablet devices, don't get me wrong. I love the bigness of a phablet and being able to just watch videos in really big format, and it's really nice. I like phablets, but for basic day-to-day out and about, this right here to me is really about all I need. Even though it is small, I am getting used to it, and being an iPhone and being very simplistic, it don't seem so bad being a 4-inch display like it would be on an Android where it's all cramped up. Because the last phone I used that was on Android with a 4-inch display was the ZTE Boost Force, and which was a good phone, but it was kind of cramped up because a 4-inch display on Android was kind of small. So that was the next thing, is the simplistic and all that stuff. So like I made mention of. Now the neutral with this phone here is the size. A 4-inch display, it is very small. When you compare it to something like the the Samsung Galaxy J3, it is a bit bigger, with a screen being 5-inch versus 4-inch. Both of them are very easy to hold in the hand, but I can actually touch middle finger to thumb on the iPhone 5S, where I can't even reach around here because I got very small stumpy hands. So 5-inch is the sweet spot for me, but 4-inch right here with a case on it, it feels a little bit bigger than it really is, so I kind of like that about that as well. Now when it comes, so that's kind of like a pro and a con. Size is too small, especially for web browsing. You got to sit there and kind of scroll around a lot and put it in landscape and zoom in and out just to get some good. But for most apps, it's all optimized for it, so it's no problem at all. Now for the cons. Now the cons are a big deal to me. Number one con is no expandable storage. Now I know that everything has to go through iTunes. It's all very restricted on iOS, which is very restricted, and everything else. Whenever you got Android, where you can download ringtones, download music, it's all to your phone, and it's very easy to just make ringtones and have all this stuff just like that, very simple, with an SD card, transferring everything, all your pictures, videos, setting everything up to go to your SD card, and it frees up more storage. However, with an iPhone, you don't have that. If you got a base model, 16 gigabyte model like I have, if it was a 64 gigabyte model, there'd be no issues there. But it does not take long to use up 16 gigabytes of onboard storage, especially when you only get 11.3 gigs when you get it out of the box. And just downloading, just taking a few videos and several apps, I'm down to like 8.5 gigs already. So it won't take long to start using up storage. I know you have iCloud and all that stuff. So that's the biggest thing. You figure that in what, 8-9 years of having the iPhone out, they would at least, it would be really nice to have an SD card expendable storage to be able to do that without, going through iTunes. That's number 2, is going through iTunes for everything. If you want to take your pictures off, your videos off, whatever case may be, add music to your phone, has to all go through iTunes and all that mess, and it's just very restricted. And I can't stand that. That's one thing I hate about the iPhone 4th the iPod 4th generation that I had, was the fact that you had to go through iTunes for everything, and I really did not like that. Pretty much. But it is what it is. It's a very restricted. Another thing is, it is kind of boring. I mean, the iPhone is nothing to, while it's a great phone, it works really good. To me, all the hype is just not, to me, it ain't all hyped up like, I have seen on the internet. It's a nice phone. It works good. It works like it's supposed to, and it has very good scores that I have seen, and it's a really good phone, but it's kind of boring. It's just basic. Cut the phone on here, and you'll see, I cut on Siri there by accident, and if you see, it is what it is. It's just very simplistic. It is what it is. You got your folder here. Oh, wrong way. Your folders and everything else and all your stuff right here, and it's very simplistic and easy to use. So that's a pro and a con. That's kind of a pro because it is simplistic and very easy to use. It's all right there, but without the customization that's made easy like on Android, then that kind of makes it kind of boring in a way. And lastly, my opinion is that it cannot beat Android. Now, I'll get some slack for iPhone users and iPhone lovers out there about this, but to me, when it comes to customization, when it comes to music, transferring music, pictures, videos to a computer, to an SD card, Android is just so simplistic, and it's got much more customization compared to the iPhone when it comes in that department. Do I like the iPhone 5S? Absolutely. It's my daily driver right now, and probably will be for a while because of what I use iPhone for. However, everything that goes through media and everything that I want to, take videos, pictures, being able to, trim things down, merge everything. I have been using Android phone. I have been using Android so long that I know everything about the Android, so it's a lot easier for me to use. And so therefore, I do like using Android more than I do iPhone, and I will always be hardcore Android regardless how much I use the iPhone, because the iPhone is nice, but it does not take very long to figure it all out. And while the iPhone is very nice, I like iOS, I like the iPhone, Android's still going to be top notch in my opinion. So that's all I really wanted to say. There's probably more in my mind right now, but it's early in the morning, and that's all I can think of right now. So, my thoughts on iPhone 5S, 2 thumbs up. I got nothing against the iPhone. It is very restricted. It is very tied down where you can't really do a whole lot with it as far as external stuff that I've seen. You have to go through so many loopholes and this and that, and if you get caught, like trying to go through different methods or whatever, then all that stuff. Not really sure how all that goes. I've just seen videos in the past about trying to do this and do that, and they might shut your phone down. I don't know how all that stuff works. But with Android, it's just free and clear, and you can do whatever the crap you want to do with it. And it's just very simplistic. So I'll always be hardcore Android, even though I do give the iPhone and iOS 2 thumbs up for making a great device that's 3 years old, that's still relevant, still getting updates, and that's another another good pro is this thing is getting every single update so far, and as far as I know right now, it will get iOS 10. And for a 3-year-old phone, that's really awesome, especially whenever you can't even get Marshmallow from 5.1 on a phone like the Warp Elite. That's just kind of pathetic in my opinion. The J3 runs 5.1. It's going to get Marshmallow. They're taking their own sweet time about it. You know, if they were as fast as updating their devices as Apple was, that would be awesome. So before I keep on rambling and make this a long video, I want to say thanks to everybody who watched this whole video. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment in the section below what y'all think of this video. And that subscribe button, make sure you press it for more content on iPhone, Android. Maybe some comparisons coming up here between the iPhone 5S and like the Warp Elite, Stylo 2, J3, just to kind of get an idea of how things work out. So stay tuned for all of that. Subscribe if you have not. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and we'll talk to y'all in the next video.